Welcome to Game of Roses. I'm Chad Kultgen. Lizzie and I just finished watching episode 2 of Love Island USA season 7, and we obviously have some questions. The biggest one being, where is Yulissa? Now, there was huge news that kind of broke as soon as they made their cast announcements. Both Yulissa and Austin had some allegations online against them, things that associated them with pro-Trump ideologies, and there were a lot of videos posted online of Yulissa saying the N-word in some interviews that she was doing on other podcasts, wearing Trump hats, etc., etc. And the backlash, the outrage from the fourth audience, that's all of us watching Love Island, all the fans of the show, was pretty extreme, pretty immediate. And all the comments on the official Love Island USA Instagram post that introduced the cast members, it was just flooded with people saying they're going to be the first people voted off the island, etc., etc. Now, what happened tonight in episode 2, I'm not sure that something like this has happened before. I could be wrong in Love Island, but I don't believe it has. And she essentially was just disappeared. She was in the first part of the episode and then she was just gone the next day. And they made no mention of it whatsoever. Now, I'm going to read this article that has come out in Deadline, and I think there's one in Variety as well about it. It's called, the title is Love Island USA, Yulissa Escobar exits the villa amid backlash over resurfaced racist comments. There we've got a picture of her. I'm just going to read this quickly and then discuss. Yulissa Escobar has left Love Island USA season 7 a day after the premiere episode on Peacock. The show addressed her exit around the 17-minute mark of the second episode of the dating series competition that dropped on Wednesday night. Yulissa has left the villa. I don't even remember seeing this at all. Love Island USA narrator Ian Sterling said, if that was in the episode, it was completely lost on me. Maybe Lizzie and I were talking during it while we were watching it. No reason was given for Yulissa's exit, but it comes amid backlash on social media following resurfaced racist comments from the past after Peacock unveiled the names of the Islanders heading to Fiji for season 7 of the reality dating competition. Internet sleuths found a clip of Yulissa using the N-word repeatedly. Yulissa seemingly made an appearance on a podcast where she casually used the N-word, which had fans of the reality series appalled. Deadline has reached out to Peacock for comment and will update when we hear back. Love Island USA is not the only one scrambling over problematic Islanders. Hours after the OG version in the UK announced the cast for season 12, one of the Islanders was dumped after producers were made aware he was a suspect in a machete attack. Holy shit. Kyle Ashman was arrested and questioned about the incident earlier this year, but denies being involved. Quote, I fully cooperated with the police investigation and made it very clear that I had no involvement in this incident. He said in a statement to Deadline, I am not a violent person, and any suggestion otherwise is a mischaracterization. Love Island UK producers, blah, blah, blah. All right, so here's the little clip. They have it here up on Twitter, on Deadline's Twitter. Let's take a listen. It's 8 seconds long.
Welcome back to Love Island USA. Yulissa has left the villa.
Okay, and that was it. And that's also the end of this article. So we're getting no explanation here proper from the show itself, from the producers. We obviously know the reason behind this. I think the Trump affiliation, this article is just talking about the use of the N-word, the kind of racist overtones of those actions. But they're not saying much here about the Trump stuff. Now, I know also Austin is associated with Trump. He's very much still in the show. They didn't get rid of him. He's, as we watched tonight, he's going to be embroiled in this. Is he going to remain single, or is he going to wind up with somebody type thing that happened at the end of the episode? But this to me it really is about an accountability issue. It harkens back to me to season 19 of Bachelorette. That was, of course, the cursed season of Gabby Wendy and Rachel Recchia forced to live out their romantic fantasies on a yacht together, splitting screen time, splitting the dating pool of men. Eric Schwer was a player who wound up winning Gabby Wendy's ring that season. And after he did that, pictures of him surfaced in blackface in his high school yearbook. And then when they went to the After the Final Rose, completely swept under the rug. It is this lack of accountability in casting that basically all of these shows now have. You see it in Love is Blind as well. There are multiple problematic people get cast on that show every season. Sometimes there are lawsuits involved from players who don't feel safe around them, but the show never takes responsibility for it, especially in that franchise. Chris Cohen does interviews after the case. That's just like, we didn't know anything about it. This is just an experiment. We just put him in there and see if they fall in love, and we have nothing to do with it. Here, I'm getting kind of the same tone. The show, if that's all they said, and again, I didn't even see that or remember that little 8-second clip saying Yulissa has left the villa is like, okay, but why? Was it of her own accord? Did she start to get word of the internet reaction to all of these things that people were finding? Was it the producer saying, we don't want this person in our show anymore? How does it mess up the math? And I also have a very hard time believing producers didn't know about this. It's on her social media, like right there. It's not like this was something she was trying to hide. It was obviously very easy for just the fans of the show to find as soon as she was announced as a player. It was out that day. All of it was everywhere. So I personally believe, I don't have any evidence to this other than what I'm seeing in the show. I personally believe she was cast maybe because of this. Maybe the producers wanted her to be a villain and it just backfired in such a massive way they had to yank her out of the cast. I have no idea. But to offer no explanation to the fans at all is so bizarre to me, because there is a section of all reality TV fandoms, of which Game of Roses is definitely part, who are obsessive about this, who watch this, who eat this, sleep this, breathe this. It is our lives to watch these shows, talk about the strategies, talk about how the shows are made, et cetera, et cetera. But I think the majority of the viewing audience, what we call, again, the fourth audience of Love Island USA, or any Love Island, is maybe not even following this stuff online as much. And they have no idea. Yulissa just is gone with no explanation for that portion of the audience, which I think is bad producing. I'm not sure exactly how this is all going to shake out, if anybody will give a better explanation of it. But as of right now, episode 2, Yulissa was just disappeared from the show. Only with that 8-second explanation, Yulissa has left the villa. It's a very strange occurrence, and I think it will, to some degree, taint the rest of this season. We will always be wondering, will the specter of Yulissa be kind of hanging around whatever is happening in the rest of the season? But all that said, the season I do think is off to a good start. The second episode, a little bit boring, not much happening in it. I would say the biggest event was the disappearing of Yulissa with no proper explanation given to us, the fourth audience. But beyond that, I'm excited for the rest of this cast. There are some standouts, I think, kind of emerging already. We're seeing Ace and Chelly. I think they're doing phenomenal work, and hopefully they'll continue to do so. I just can't wait to see all the big plays and who is going to be our next Leah Kateb, if indeed that happens from this cast. But again, they have disappeared, Yulissa Escobar, with little to no explanation. And it is up to us, the fourth audience, I guess, to dig a little deeper here, find out what's really going on. Who made this call? Did Yulissa say, I need out of this because the online backlash is going to be insane, it's going to ruin my life? Or was it the producer saying, we can't have you on our show representing anything? Also, I'm curious, what did they tell the other players? Because as the episode was presented, they give no indication that they're even aware it happened. They just kind of go on business as usual. Now Ace is single and he's smiling and like, what do I do now? There is no mention of the fact in the show, other than that little clip I just played, which again, I don't even remember being in the show. But other than that, there's no mention that this even happened, even by the players. So the players at some point are either told you have to act like this didn't happen, make no mention of it, or there's a whole chunk of time that is just not aired in this program where the producers came out and said, Yulissa left the show of her own accord because of these things, or we had to yank her because of these things, and we need you guys to just play along. I don't know. I don't know what any of the answers are, but it has been absolutely wild. Thank you for joining me for this coverage of this. And if any more information comes out about this, we will be covering it here on Game of Roses.